Madness!
Space Madness! Where is Perseverance? Okay. We are only 4 days away from touchdown on Mars again. Of course, the U.S. has landed about 4 or 5 rovers on the Mars. We'll take a look in a second at all of them. And this one shot off in 2019, I believe. Here is the live NASA page. It's 286,983, almost 984,000 miles away from Earth. Distance traveled. Distance is only 5 million miles to Mars. Speed 48 miles per hour relative to the Sun. That doesn't seem very fast. Anyway, 98% of the trip has been completed. This is what the thing looks like. I saw this being built in JPL when I went to visit JPL in 2018 or 19. When was it launched? It was launched in July 2020. That's not that long ago. Seems like a pretty quick turnaround. It was launched in last July, and it's going to land February 18th. I'm recording this on February 13th. If you are listening to this in the future, you already know that they had an amazing, successful touchdown. And this also, and we've talked about this in a previous episode, the Mars helicopter is on this lander. This is going to be cool. So there's a lander. There's like a rocket powered drone that's going to drop the lander, and there's a helicopter that's going to take off, and we'll have the first helicopter on Mars, which is cool. Ingenuity, and a technology experiment, is preparing to attempt the first powered, controlled flight on the red planet. So, yeah, this helicopter weighs 4 pounds. Fuselage about the size of a tissue box. It's got 2 sets of counter-rotating propellers, big old propellers, because it has a very thin atmosphere. And it has like a little sort of AI flying program, because there's an 11-minute delay from here to Mars, okay? And so nobody could fly this drone in real time. It has to fly itself. They tell it what to do, and then it has to figure out, using its artificial intelligence, where to go. So here are key things to know about Ingenuity. It's an experimental flight test. The Mars helicopter was known as a technology demonstration, a narrowly focused project that's used to test a new capability for the first time. They're covering their bases here in case it doesn't work. These are cool. Previous groundbreaking technology include the Mars Rover Sojourner. That was the first one, I think in the 90s. And the Mars Cube 1 satellites, CubeSats, that flew by Mars. Okay. The helicopter doesn't carry science instruments and isn't part of Perseverance's science mission. This is a separate thing. It was kind of thrown on, it was sort of tacked on. NASA convinced...
Sometimes you have to do something just to show that you...
Convinced Congress or the government to give them enough money to make this little helicopter, and they promise. So it's not going to fly too close to the rover, because they don't want it to crash into the rover. So as soon as the rover lands, or at some point, the helicopter is going to take off and then sort of keep its distance from the rover from that point on.
It has to be fully autonomous from the time it takes off to the time it lands. What we do on the ground is we plan the flights, and so we determine from here where we want First flight, the main thing is we want to get the legs off the ground, and so we will basically go up about 3 meters, and we'll hover there, and then we'll come down again, and that will be the first, really major milestone.
Most of our flights will be at the 3 to 5 meter height. We will be going horizontally again at a few meters per second, probably go out, 50, 70 meters and come back. In successive flights, we'll probably push that further, try to go further. So our priority.
So that's it. It's not there to measure the atmosphere. It's just there to fly around and see if it's possible. Okay, there's some more things in this fact sheet that you can look at. This is from jpl.nasa.gov. 6 things to know about NASA's Mars helicopter. Ingenuity is smart for a small robot. Okay. Anyways, how many rovers are on Mars? Glad you asked. 6 rovers have been dispatched to Mars. Let's see, there's the Mars 2 landing failed. This was Russian in the 70s. Mars 3 was lost when it stopped communicating 104 seconds after landing. Sojourner was the first U.S. one and the first successful rover. It went from July to September. Not very long, just a couple months in 1997. Then the Spirit and Opportunity rovers both landed at the same time, or they were both launched in 2003 and landed in 2004, not on the same day. Spirit, let's see, from 2004, it died in 2010. Total distance of 7.7 kilometers. So in 6 years, it drove 7 kilometers, less than 7 miles, and that was the first kind of success, and the Opportunity, which was there at the same time, went all the way until 2018. Thing lasted 14 years driving around Mars, covered 45 kilometers, 28 miles, and it lived until the 2018 Mars dust storm. You remember where you were when the 2018 dust storm covered the entire face of Mars and we couldn't see anything on Mars, and everyone was like, what is happening? Just one of those global dust storms, nothing to worry about. And then the Curiosity, which was, launched in 2011, landed in 2012, and you might remember this was called the 7 Minutes of Terror. The thing had to land by itself, and it was very complicated, maneuvered getting it out of orbit and slowing it down and touching it down. And as you probably know, the Curiosity is still going, and it's sent some really cool stuff back, pictures and data. And so the 7 Minutes of Terror is going to happen again on this new one in a couple of days. And here's a little video.
Parachute.
It shows what's going to
light
happen.
up our rockets.
Taking images of the surface of Mars and determining where to go based on.
Okay, there's a parachute that deploys it to slow it down, and then it has imaging. So it's going to look. It's going to look at the surface. Hopefully, there's no dust storm. It's going to look at the surface, find out where it is, get its bearings. Okay. Now, this is going to land in a crater, by the way, which is even more hazardous. I'm just scrolling through this video, and now look at this.
And light up our rockets.
From the first segment comes a flying.
To a safe landing spot that's nearby.
That
descent stage takes us all the way down to about 20 meters off
like
the
a
ground.
rocket sled that flies down to 20 meters above the ground, and then it lowers the rover on a cable, sets it down, and flies away.
7 minutes is really just the beginning for Perseverance. Its job, right, being the first leg of sample return, to go look for those signs of past life on Mars. All that can't start until we get Perseverance safely to the ground.
So that's really cool. There's a bunch of stages, including flying a rocket skiff and winch lowering the lander, the rover part, and then the helicopter. I don't even know, somehow disengaging from that. And finally, I have this page bookmarked, NASA's live Mars Perseverance rover landing. I don't know what they're going to show. I guess they're going to have some video of it landing. This is happening in 4 days, 11 a.m. on February 18th. That's next maybe Thursday-ish. I set a reminder to myself to for YouTube to tell me when this is going to happen. This YouTube site. Oh, I should subscribe to NASA. There we go. This YouTube page on NASA is ready to go in 5 days, in 4 days, to show video and probably a lot of audio of scientists talking about what they're saying. But again, there's an 11-minute communication delay from Mars to here. So this thing is going to be landing by itself. Basically, they're just going to be watching and see what happens. Very cool. Perseverance lander, Godspeed. We hope you land safely and can't wait for future helicopter rides all over the Mars surface.